And then I heard that voice at the sports desk. Mind you, I know that it is possible to work with people and write about them. But at that time in my life, I was using professional distance to protect myself from personal hurt. I thought that if I could keep a hard outer crust, I could avoid the potential pain of getting close to people. But when the voice spoke, I knew immediately what it meant for me. I also knew immediately who, or rather, who with a capital W, was speaking. It was not the first time I had heard this voice. At the time, I was angry with God and hadn't been talking to him much. But I still knew when he was speaking to me. And this was one of those times. This invitation was not my first, although it was the first time I experienced clear direction from him about my vocation. I didn't respond immediately to this voice, this call. First, I had to decide whether I was going to stick with the whole Christian thing in the first place. But over the course of the following year, this call to ministry became clear through a number of avenues of confirmation. My eventual response of humbled obedience began a nearly 30-year ministry leadership journey that continues today. This book is for you. If you are listening to this book, you are part of a unique, more specific group of Christian women. You identify, or have been identified, as a leader. Whether or not you currently serve in a formal leadership position within an organization, you are also involved in ministry, some type of specific Christian service, whether within a local church, a Christian ministry, your home or your community, or even as a leader who is a Christian in an organization or context that is not explicitly Christian. At some point in your life, you have experienced a call, that nudge/burden/burning something that asks, "Will you join me?" And right now you're wrestling with that invitation, that calling, what it is, and how it plays out for you. Of course, these are a lot of loaded terms, words that can have varied meanings and powerful emotional connotations depending on your frame of reference. Calling is a loaded term. So is ministry. And particularly for Christian women, so is leader. So, what is calling? And how does a woman leader live it out? We'll get to that in depth in the rest of this book. In addition to figuring out what calling is, we need to understand how to discern calling. Are there different types of calling? How do you know you're hearing an invitation from God and not just the rumblings of last night's pizza? And what does calling look like as it is lived out in real life and leadership? A woman's everyday responsibilities, issues of power and authority, family relationships. What about in various seasons of a woman's life, from young adulthood to empty nest? What role does money play in following a call? Where is the line between stepping out in faith or foolishness? And then, of course, we must consider the challenges and curveballs women experience in pursuing their call. There are moments, months, or more, when following a perceived calling involves great difficulty, disappointment, and pain. What do we do with doubt, discouragement, and dry seasons? We'll get to all of that, I promise. But here at the beginning, it's helpful for us to first understand those other two loaded terms. What do we mean by ministry? And who qualifies as a leader? What counts as ministry? For many people, the ministry denotes full-time Christian service as either a pastor or a missionary. This understanding originated in medieval